announced his departure, it was confirmed with a news post on HLTV that this is a move that's likely to happen, is Fallen, who is both an AWPer and an in-game leader, is going to be the replacement for Twists. Now, I've actually said...
I actually have an announcement to make.
Oh.
So, on the back of ending 2020 on a very good final, it was the matchup that I could have hoped for. That was actually my last games with Team Liquid, and that could be exciting to some people, or very bad news for a lot of Team Liquid fans. It was a mutual decision after looking over a couple things, and I think it's for the best for both sides.
He's out of the team for good, and we don't know where he's going to end up. And like I say, he himself announced it during the interview. Now, there's been something going on behind the scenes for quite some time, stuff that, you know, maybe this was decided prior to this tournament. I don't really know, but it definitely feels like this is something that's been brewing. The rumor that was up immediately after Twists announced his departure, it was confirmed with a news post on HLTV that this is a move that's likely to happen, is Fallen, who is both an AWPer and an in-game leader, is going to be the replacement for Twists. Now, I've actually said this months ago on the By the Numbers podcast that that's a move I would potentially make. Not because I think Fallen's in a great place in his career. I mean, he's been not a great player. MIBR completely fell apart, but he does fit the double whammy. You're not going to find many AWPing in-game leaders, and I think Fallen's the better fit. He knows Stewie and knows Stewie looks up to him. So Stewie's not going to mind passing the mantle back, essentially, to a legendary in-game leader that he's worked with before. Now, I think it's going to work, honestly. I know people are going to say, that's crazy, Richard. You've criticized MIBR, you've criticized Fallen. I think the problem with that MIBR roster was they're essentially a Voltron of bad habits when they get together. They interlock their egos, their narcissism, their fixation on extraneous businesses. It all comes together in the worst possible way, and their victim complex, of course. And they just egg each other on into negative behaviors. I said the core of that team can't work, but they're all great individual players. I'm sure we'll see Taco on a team very soon. I'm sure his statistics will be a lot better than what they were when he was at the end of his tenure with the old MIBR roster. He's too good a player to stay in free agency, but together they're a nightmare. Now, Fallen's also going to come in and recognize this is the last chance saloon for him. I mean, you're staring into the abyss of your legacy being brutally tainted by what happened at the end of your tenure in MIBR. You know, do you want to be remembered as one of the greats, the true greats? I'm sure he always will be, but you don't want an asterisk at the end. So by coming into Team Liquid, if he turns Team Liquid around, you know, the only way, as far as I can see it, is up for them. They can, well, I suppose they can stay as bad as what they are now, and in which case it was a reasonable gamble to take, wasn't it? But I think he can actually help them kick on upwards, and I think he'll be motivated to do it. I think the players will listen. I think there's been question marks about whether or not players like Elige want to listen to certain people. I think anyone's going to listen to Fallen, even if you've never played with him before. I think he has that weight to him because he's a legend. So I think he comes into the team, he takes over AWPing. AWPing hasn't worked out for Stewie at all. He's not reliable enough with it. You know, he can hit flashy shots, sure, but as we saw in the finals today, he had a few halves. You just want to forget about that. You know, like it's just not good enough, especially, you know, T-side. And that's going to lift that burden from his shoulders, and good, because I want to see the Stewie that's running around with a rifle doing crazy things and running through smokes and being a game changer. Stewie is a player capable of greatness, and I think Fallen's going to free him. And I think they're going to realize, actually, if you're a genuine Team Liquid fan, this was the right move. It's bold. It could also be an expensive disaster. It could be absolutely awful. We could see all of the negative aspects of Fallen and none of the positive. But I just don't believe he's going to do that to himself. I think he's going to be coming in motivated to a degree that he hasn't been in a while. I mean, when he went to MIBR in 2017, it was essentially a glorified retirement home with a giant paycheck, and his employers were also his business associates in other businesses he'd set up. It was a recipe for disaster from day one. For all the branding was amazing and everything.